What up, everyone? It's Ed here again with the Mandatory Cinema Daily Review. Today, we are talking The Vast of Night, which is available on Amazon Prime. It was written by Craig W. Sanger and James Montague, directed by Andrew Patterson, and stars Jake Horowitz as Everett and Sierra McCormick as Faye. The movie takes place in the 50s, where a fast-talking and sleazy radio show host and a teenage phone line operator work together to document UFO sightings in the small town of Cayuga, New Mexico. Now, I know that sounds like a pretty cool little movie, and it is a really nice setup, but unfortunately, this movie barely registers as cinema. In fact, oftentimes, it feels more like an audio play. There's even a dialogue scene, that alternates between the close-up of one character who is hearing the story and just a black screen. I'm not even kidding. And this isn't the only counterintuitive move in the movie. There are some seriously baffling choices made here that hold this story back. I usually try to be as positive as I can about a movie, even if I don't like it. And there are some cool one-take shots here, but they are all very showy and they don't really add anything to the story. I'm sure those shots were a bitch to pull off, and everyone involved should be commended for all the hard work they put into it, but they're just kind of there, and a lot of the times they sort of stop the movie in its tracks. Early on in the movie, there's a very simple scene that is meant to establish one very simple point, that Faye is passionately obsessed with technology. It should be a very quick, easy scene to do. This shouldn't take a lot of work to really establish that. But in this movie, the way they choose to present that is that Everett asks Faye to name 3 of her favorite articles or whatever. And so Faye, given the sort of excitable teenager that she is, goes on this minutes-long speech about some technology, and that goes on forever, just in and of itself. And for some reason, this whole shot is like a wide shot from behind them, so you didn't even get to see their faces. She goes on this whole speech. It's kind of annoying to sit through once, but for some reason, the movie makes you sit through 2 more of those speeches, and the whole time we're in that wide shot. We don't move from that wide shot. And so clearly the movie is trying to characterize Faye, but we don't really get to see how anybody feels about anything. Film is a visual medium. In the world of editing, there's the philosophy that close-ups are sacred, and they should be used as sparingly as possible and only to really drive the point home when you need to. And it feels like whoever edited this movie kind of took that advice and then forgot everything else about editing, because every scene is sort of built around that. Even if the emotional reveal isn't that big, doesn't add too much to the story, and it just really doesn't work. This movie is all tell and no show. It's literally just talking. It's people talking nonstop from the beginning of the movie till the very end. It's a stylish dialogue, yeah, sure, but again, I keep coming back to this point. It's a visual medium, and I understand that this movie had a low budget, but that's not an excuse though. I've seen low budget sci-fi movies be really great and show very great examples of visual storytelling. I mean, I'm not asking for Independence Day here. Just give me something cool. Just give me something interesting. Give me something to look at. Don't just have people in rooms and cars on the streets talking. Come on, man. It's so bizarre to me that this movie was even made as a movie. At no point at all does it feel like it's actually trying to be a movie. I really wanted to like the character of Faye, but there's this one running gag that she walks and runs everywhere, because she doesn't have a car. She's a kid. And, in the first part of the movie, it works reasonably well. It's a cute running gag, but halfway through the movie, Everett gets a hold of a car and he has it throughout the rest of the movie. And the movie still commits to the joke that Faye likes to run everywhere. So the first time it happens where she's like, oh no, I forgot this. So she has to go run somewhere, and then Everett has to chase her and tell her to go in the car. Okay, it's decently funny enough. But man, every single scene in the second half of the movie starts with that joke. So the second half of the movie, that's your climactic point. That's when you should be building up all this tension. How are you supposed to build up tension if every single one of your scenes starts with a joke, a very simplistic joke, and a joke that isn't really meant to be told more than once? Yeah, I don't know. This movie, ultimately, its biggest issues is that it feels like its priorities are in the wrong order. Every single department, like the cinematographer, the director, the writer, the actors, they were all kind of working really hard. I don't want to knock anyone for the work they did here, but none of them were working hard together. And it's too committed to ideas that do not work or are just inherently anti-cinematic. This movie is just misguided. I don't know how else to describe it. I can't say I hate this movie because it is unique, but because of that, it's uniquely bad. And I think anyone who wants to make movies, especially sci-fi movies on a budget, should see this movie just so they know how not to do it, because yeah, this does not work. Unfortunately, I can't recommend this movie. If you want something like this, listen to like a really cool like audio podcast, like Night Vale or something. This movie is not really worthy of your time, and yeah, I didn't like it, sadly. So that's it for today's Mandatory Cinema Daily Review. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. So make sure to share, like, subscribe, and hit that blue bell. Comment below to tell me what you thought of the movie. I've been Ed. You've been awesome. Have a good one.